What if I told you there are places on Earth that look like they belong on another planet? From rainbow-colored mountains to glowing underground galaxies, these aren't fantasy worlds. These are real places you can actually visit. Let's take a surreal trip around the world, and I promise you, number one will leave you speechless. But real quick, if you love discovering the strangest, most beautiful places on Earth, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because Traveloova is about to take your bucket list to another level. Today, we're counting down the top 10 surreal places to add to your bucket list. These spots are remote, otherworldly, and in some cases, almost untouched by tourism. Let's jump in. At number 10, Vinicunca, the Rainbow Mountain of Peru. Deep in the Andes lies a mountain painted by nature itself. The colors look painted on, but they are very real, formed by layers of minerals over millions of years. It's a 3-hour hike at high altitude, but the view, worth every step. Pro tip, go early morning to avoid the crowds and catch that golden light. At number 9, Pamukkale in Turkey. These white terraces look like frozen waterfalls, but they're actually formed by thermal spring deposits. The name Pamukkale means cotton castle in Turkish, and it's easy to see why. The water is a toasty 95 degrees Fahrenheit and loaded with minerals, believed to have healing powers for the skin and joints. Ancient Romans thought so too. They built an entire spa city, Hierapolis, right on top of it. And yes, legend says Cleopatra herself took a dip here. Visit at sunset when the pools turn soft pink and gold, and you'll feel like you're bathing in clouds. Number 8, Ice Bubble Lake, Alberta, Canada. At first glance, it looks like any frozen lake. But then you notice something strange. Hundreds of white orbs suspended in crystal clear ice. These aren't air pockets, they're frozen methane bubbles, created when dead organic matter, like plants and animals, sinks to the bottom and is broken down by bacteria, releasing methane gas. The deeper the bubbles, the older they are, and they stack up like surreal snow globes beneath your feet. But here's the crazy part. If you pop one and light it, it explodes. So, admire, don't ignite. Best time to go? Mid to late January, when the ice is thick, clear, and safe for walking or skating across this frozen wonderland. Number 7, Dalol, Ethiopia. Imagine standing on a surface so alien, NASA has actually tested Mars rovers here. Dalol is a hydrothermal crater in Ethiopia's Danakil Depression, and it holds records as one of the hottest inhabited places on Earth, with average yearly temperatures around 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Acidic pools bubble in neon yellow, green, and orange, formed by volcanic heat reacting with minerals. It's one of the only places where life barely exists. Scientists study it to understand how life might survive on other planets. Walking here feels like a sci-fi movie, with hissing steam and the sharp scent of sulfur in the air. It's remote, brutal, and requires a guide. But if you're looking for the edge of Earth, this might just be it. Number 6, the Glowworm Caves of New Zealand. An underground galaxy of bioluminescent worms. You float through the Waitomo Caves in total silence, guided by a boat and lit only by the eerie twinkling lights above. These tiny creatures, unique to New Zealand, emit a blue-green glow to lure prey into their silk threads, kind of like nature's own fiber optic trap. It's part science, part magic, and 100% unforgettable. Just a heads up, tours sell out fast, especially in summer, so book ahead if you want a front row seat to this natural light show. At number 5, Socotra Island in Yemen. Known as the most alien place on Earth, Socotra is so isolated that a third of its plant life exists nowhere else on the planet. The most famous? The dragon's blood tree, with its umbrella-like canopy and crimson sap once prized for medicine and dye. But that's just the beginning. You'll also find pristine desert beaches, towering limestone caves, and bizarre bottle-shaped succulents growing straight from rock. There are no high-rise resorts, barely any Wi-Fi, and almost zero crowds. Getting here takes effort, but that's what makes it magical. For travelers craving untouched nature and true off-grid adventure, Socotra is paradise from another dimension. Number 4. Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. During the rainy season, December through April, a thin layer of water turns the salt flat into a giant mirror, perfectly reflecting the sky. It's almost as if sky and ground become one. It's so flawless, it's even used to calibrate satellites from space. It messes with your senses in the best way. Salar de Uyuni is so big and reflective, astronauts can see it clearly from space. It's been called Earth's natural mirror to the stars. Number 3. Mount Roraima, where Venezuela meets Brazil and Guyana. Mount Roraima inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, and you'll see why. The top is often shrouded in mist, and clouds wrap around its edges like a floating island. It rains almost every day on Roraima, and the constant downpour feeds sky-high waterfalls that pour off the cliffs like liquid silver. To get to the top, you'll trek through lush savanna, cross crystal-clear rivers, and climb up a natural ramp carved into the mountain. The hike takes about 6 to 8 days round trip, and it's 100% worth every blister and mosquito bite. If you ever decided to visit, bring waterproof everything, and a waterproof camera. You'll want to capture the moody clouds, crystal pools, and surreal rock gardens. Number 2. The Blue Lagoon and Ice Caves of Iceland. The Blue Lagoon feels like a spa on another planet, and the crystal ice caves are like stepping into a glacier cathedral. These are two of the most surreal, bucket list-worthy spots on the planet, and you can visit them both in the same day. The Blue Lagoon isn't naturally formed. It's actually the result of runoff from a nearby geothermal power plant. But it's totally clean, mineral-rich, and naturally heated. A happy accident that turned into one of Iceland's most famous attractions. The milky blue water is full of silica, algae, and minerals. Silica is what gives the water that dreamy blue color, and it's also great for your skin. There's even a Blue Lagoon skincare line made from it. Iceland's ice caves melt and reform every winter. No two seasons are the same, which means every trip is totally unique. The deep glowing blue of the caves isn't edited. It happens because the dense glacier ice absorbs all colors except blue. When you step inside, it's like walking through frozen sapphire. This island shows us how nature can freeze time and melt away everything else. And finally, number 1, Wadi Rum in Jordan, also known as the Valley of the Moon, and for good reason. One look at the alien rock formations and fiery sand dunes, and you'll totally get why. Wadi Rum is home to Bedouin tribes who've lived in the region for centuries. You can ride camels, sip tea in goat hair tents, and sleep under the stars in traditional or luxury Bedouin camps. It's like stepping into a living cultural tapestry. Sunsets in Wadi Rum hit different. The light turns the sand deep orange and red, and the rocks glow like embers. With zero light pollution, the stars absolutely explode after dark. You'll feel like you're floating in space. You can rip across the dunes in a 4x4 Jeep, climb natural rock bridges like Jebel Fruth, and even sandboard down the dunes. Yes, like snowboarding, but with warm sand and way cooler outfits. Earth is full of wonders, and some are more surreal than fiction. So which of these will you add to your 2025 bucket list? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you loved this journey, tap that subscribe button. There's more magic to explore right here on Traveloova.